In the year 325 AD, the Roman Empire stood at a crossroads. After centuries of persecution, Christianity was now legal. But inside the church, a dangerous division was tearing it apart, not about rituals or leadership, but about something deeper. Who exactly is Jesus Christ? Was he God from the very beginning? Or was he created by God at some point in time? One man, a priest named Arius from Alexandria, had shaken the foundations of Christian belief. Arius claimed that Jesus was not eternal, that there was a time when the Son did not exist. He argued that Jesus was divine, yes, but not equal to God the Father. To many, that made sense. To others, it was heresy. His bishop, Alexander of Alexandria, disagreed. And at his side stood a young deacon named Athanasius, who would become one of the fiercest defenders of the full divinity of Christ. The controversy spread like wildfire. Letters flew across the empire. Entire congregations took sides. Some feared this disagreement would tear the faith apart. And when the matter reached the emperor himself, Constantine, he knew he had to act. So Constantine called for a grand meeting in the city of Nicaea. It would become the first ecumenical council in Christian history. Over 300 bishops from all corners of the empire traveled to attend. Many had suffered persecution for their faith. Some bore scars, even missing eyes or limbs. They weren't just theologians, they were survivors. Constantine himself opened the council. Though not yet baptized, he saw the growing Christian church as key to the unity of his empire. And he wanted peace, not more division. But he did not impose doctrine. He left the bishops to debate freely. The discussions were intense. Some bishops supported Arius. Others were horrified by his teachings. The argument came down to one crucial point. Was Jesus Christ and of the same substance one as God the Father, or was he of a similar but lesser kind? This debate gave rise to a word that would define the outcome of the council: homoousios, a Greek term meaning of the same substance. According to this view, Jesus was not made or created. He was begotten, not made. Eternal, just like the Father, fully God. After weeks of heated arguments, the council made its decision. The majority of bishops rejected Arius's view. Only a handful refused to agree. Arius was declared a heretic and exiled. His writings were ordered to be burned. The council issued what became known as the Nicene Creed, a formal statement of belief that declared Jesus Christ as God from God, light from light, true God from true God. It affirmed that he was begotten, not made, and of one substance with the Father. This creed would echo through history. Even today, millions of Christians around the world recite versions of it during worship. But the Council of Nicaea wasn't just about theology. It was also about unity. The bishops didn't invent new beliefs. They clarified what they believed had always been true. They aimed to protect the mystery of the faith against teachings that, in their view, weakened the truth about who Jesus was. Over time, myths began to grow around the council. Some say it chose the books of the Bible. It didn't. The Bible was already widely used in the form we know today. Others say the Trinity was invented there. It wasn't. The idea of God as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit existed long before Nicaea. The council simply defended it more clearly. There's even a famous myth that St. Nicholas, the real one, punched Arius during the debates. While amusing, there's no historical evidence for that story. It's a legend that came much later. Constantine, often painted as the puppet master of Christian doctrine, actually played a limited role in the decisions. Yes, he called the council. But it was the bishops who defined the creed. In fact, years later, Constantine tried to bring Arius back into the church, and even exiled Athanasius. The politics of the empire remained complicated. But Nicaea marked a turning point. It showed that when major questions threatened to divide the church, leaders could come together, debate, and make decisions to preserve unity and truth. Even though the Nicene Creed did not end all controversy, Arianism would continue for decades. It laid the foundation for Christian orthodoxy. Future councils would build on its decisions. So the next time you hear that the Council of Nicaea invented Christianity, remember this: it didn't create doctrine out of thin air. It didn't vote on which books to include in the Bible. It didn't silence all voices forever.